Hi, this is Real True Street Crime, narrated by Eddie Jackson Jr. And today's story is for everybody who do not like me. This is one for you. The question was once asked to me, do I believe in God? First, I want to start off by telling you my father was a Muslim and my mother was a Christian. And here's my story. I got up one morning, I ran around Belle Isle. I came in and I collected some money from Kirk at 3875 French Road. Unbeknownst to me, two stick-up men was watching the house. They missed me coming because all I did, I had just finished running around Belle Isle, so all I did was grab the money and take off to the house to get the package to bring the package back to Kirk. When I got back with the package, they was waiting on me. So when I go in the house to give Kirk the package, Kirk is in the kitchen cooking some bacon and shit, bullshitting. So I'm sitting in the front room waiting on him to come get the package. This a motherfucker come to the door knocking on the front door. He's got the screen door open and he's leaning down inside the screen door with the gun down so you can't see the gun. But I don't know him. So I never opened the door. He's knocking on the door. I said, Kirk, come see if you know this motherfucker at the door, man. Kirk still back there bullshitting. Got knocked again. Something is telling me something is motherfucking wrong in my mind at that time. But I was standing right here waiting on the sack. Something told me. So Kirk finally come up from bullshitting back there cooking in the kitchen and opened the door. And the first thing the motherfucker said was, police. When he said that, he's dressed in a blue overall. He's not dressed in a police uniform. He's trying to look like that in blue overalls. When he say police, to me at French Road in that day, when you say police to me, that was like the starting gun. Boom! I grabbed the dope, flying for the bathroom to flush it. This motherfucker fires. Boom! This ain't no motherfucking police. This a jack move, nigga. I stopped and realized that we being robbed, goddammit. Now, the first thing the motherfucker say is, where's the money? I had took the money home. All I had was 200 singles on me. I had took all the real money home. I had 200 singles on me. He took the 200 singles. He said, nigga, both of y'all strip. He stripped us down butt-ass naked. Now, I'm standing there butt-ass naked. He's waiting on his assistant to come to the back door for Kirk to go let him in. Now, a day or two before this, just to let you know, Carl Larry, who was a stick-up man in the neighborhood, told me, Eddie, these niggas is planning to kidnap you for $50,000 and rob you, man. Be on your guard. So this is already on my mind, and I didn't pay attention when the shit started going down at the door. I realized this is what the fuck was going on. Now I'm figuring I got to get out this motherfucker, but they got the sack of dope. As soon as he shot to the floor, he got that. That was about 7 grams of dope, all hooked up, everything. So he got that. He got 200 singles. They shamed the car. They went through the house and took Kirk, had a new leather coat. He had $400 in that. So out of the robbery, they got about 600 cash. But at the same time, my little cousin Ricky is there. I've never seen a man froze on the wall, couldn't move. I'm talking about paralyzed. And my Uncle Willie is sitting right there on the couch. Now, Uncle Willie was the money man. He was our money man. He's got $10,000, all $100 bills in his pajama pocket, and I'm looking at it, and this nigga's pressing me for money, and he's talking, nigga, if we... So now, he sent Kirk to the back door to let his man in. When he do that, me and him is up front. He took his eye off me for a minute, and I made my break for the motherfucking front door. Soon as I hit the first motherfucking step, I heard the shot, and the first bullet went from here. I saw the motherfucker come right out here just like that. Now, I'm going down the stairs. I plan to go right. I'm running down, going right. I felt the hand of God, and I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking, pushed me to the motherfucking left, and when he pushed me, all I seen, if I had went the way I want, I would have caught 4 bullets in the back of my motherfucking head. Every bullet flew past my motherfucking head just like this into the side door of Kirk's Delta 88. I'm butt-ass naked, hit 4 times. He hit me 4 times. I'm butt-ass naked, running across the street, naked, flying. I go up Mount Clair to Mac. I'm standing at Mac at Will's Car Wash. I'm butt-ass naked, shot 4 times. Big Rose and Carl Larry, the nigga who told me they was gonna rob me. Rose just happened to been coming from home. He lived on Lee May. Rose looked, Eddie, what the fuck? Rose whipped that motherfucker around, jumped me, and then got me to the motherfucking hospital instantly. Big motherfucking Rose will always be my motherfucking man as long as I'm alive. That motherfucker snatched and got me there like a real one. Okay? So now, I'm at the motherfucking hospital. I done been shot. I'm butt-ass motherfucking naked. They asking me, did they rape me? I said, man, ain't no motherfucker rape me. You understand? So when they get me in there, they hit me because I'm hit for. They hitting me. My legs is like this. They hit me with a killer. They hit me about 6 times because that motherfucker was hurting. And my shit was like this. So they steady hitting me with the painkiller. And my shit is blown up. As soon as I look up, the motherfucking feds is there questioning me. So I'm asking them, well, you questioned me? How the fuck I know who shot me? So I explained to the motherfucking federal officers who beat me to the hospital what the fuck had happened. So I had to walk every 4 hours to keep from blood clotting and possibly dying from a blood clot. So I had to walk all that night every 4 hours on this motherfucker that's like this. I'm walking this motherfucker. They took me right over there on 94 in Ross. Sinai is where I was at that time. And them motherfuckers, I'm going to tell you right now, I walked every 4 hours, and when they had to put that dye in you to kill the poison from the bullet, that shit hurt worse than the motherfucking being shot. But now let's go ahead on fast forward. God was with me. Allah was with me the whole time. Them niggas want to kidnap me and take me who knows where and do what the fuck to me. And Carl Larry had already told me that. So I got the fuck out of there. I took 4 and got the fuck out of there, got to the hospital. Now, I got to know who the fuck done did this to me. I can't motherfucking live without knowing who in the fuck just did this shit to me. So this is Real True Street Crimes narrated by Eddie Jackson Jr. And this is part 2 to and for all the people who do not like me. And the question was asked, do I believe in God? Let's get right back into it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to link up. And please don't forget to look at my CBD oils and all of my products there as well. But here we go. Let's go on into the story. I'm at the hospital. I've been shot 4 times. But let me go to the very end. After he shot me 4 times, the other 4, if I had went the way I wanted to go, would have hit me in the back of the head and I wouldn't be here today. And as I said to you, the hand of God pushed me this way and the bullets went directly past my head, just like that. Now, at that point, I'm running across the street trying to get to the lot and get to Mount Clair. His gun has jammed. He's standing in the middle of the street trying to unjam it. He finally unjams it, yells and and fire off the last 4 or 5 shots. By that time, I'm on the next block, rolling, going towards Mac, running like a motherfucker. Okay? As I told you, when I get to Mac, I'm standing up there shot in front of the car wash 4 times, bleeding like a motherfucking pig. Big Rose whips up off Lee May, where he was staying at the time. Him and Carl Larry. Big Rose, let me tell you this, is driving a brand new DTS Cadillac, champagne color, and I mean brand new. This man whipped that motherfucker around there to get in. Now this brother wasn't concerned that I'm bleeding on his new Cadillac seats. You know, so as I say to you before, Big Rose is always a motherfucking hero in my eyes to this very day. And let's push on. Now, he done picked me up in the Cadillac brand new. I'm bleeding on this man's seat, and he rolling up 94 to get me to the hospital at Ross. Okay? Now, let me give you a little more background. At this point, my father had been dead for 5 years. Demetrius had been dead for 6. Okay? At this point, I'm fucking with a crew in New York called the Seven Dwarfs. They got some motherfucking heroin so motherfucking good, it will drop a motherfucker if I ain't cutting it right. It'll OD a motherfucker, it's so good. It's 10 motherfucking Puerto Ricans, only 2 of them speak motherfucking English. And all they dope, if it's the Seven Dwarfs dope, it's gonna be a finger and it's gonna have a Seven Dwarf stamped on that motherfucker. And I ain't never got a bad package from them. I don't give a fuck if it was white, it was a knockout. If it was that Lebanese brown, it was a knockout. So this is who I'm fucking with right now, and I'm spending $50,000 a week getting a half a key. I'm getting 500 grams once a week from them. These Puerto Ricans are from Queens, and we dealing at the White Plains Hotel. When I come in, I call them, go to the hotel, get a room, they come there, we do business, and I get the fuck on. So at this point, this is the connect I'm fucking with, and I'm getting serious money. So now, I'm at the hospital, I'm shot like a motherfucker. I got to walk every 4 hours so my shit don't clot and I die. I'm walking, coming down the hospital after walking, and you won't believe who the fuck was the first person to come see me. It was Rodney Rice. Goddamn. Rodney Rice came to see me. He said, Eddie, who in the fuck did this? I said, Rodney, if I knew, you'd know. He said, bruh, I'm going to find out who did this for you.
Big Boss Filmworks and Big Boss Books presents Courtney Robert Brown Jr.'s follow-up to the book Motown Mafia. Motown Mafia, Big Man on Campus.
My internship was kind of in how the world of international finance and international criminal activities overlap.
Corey Black Sr. wanted Corey to go to school to bring legitimacy to the family, but Corey had other plans. While in college, with the help of his friends and his girlfriend, he starts and grows a successful drug operation.
5 minutes later, 2 agents, now I know they were agents, but at the time I see 2 guys go to the right, another 2 guys start walking towards me. They stop at my seat and they go, grab your bags, DEA, come with us. Needless to say, this is not the fun part of being an intern.
Corey finds himself conflicted with his responsibility to running the family business and his obligation to his college studies. However, he'll have to make things work in his favor if he wants to remain the big man on campus. The names have been changed to protect the guilty and the innocent.
And it's funny because at the same time I'm going to class and I'm taking economics and business 101 and marketing, and you know, your economic teacher's telling you about a business plan and how you get a small business loan. And you know, it's kind of the hypocrisy of the world, because I'm like, that ain't how the real world works.
This is Eddie Jackson Jr., and this is Real True Street Crimes, narrated by Eddie Jackson Jr. Like, subscribe, link, share, and by all means look at my bio, and if possible, give me a play on any products you may like. But here's part 3 to Do I Believe in God? Here's where we left off at. I had got shot. I'm at the hospital, and Rodney Rice comes to see me. at about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking around and he walk up on me and Eddie, who shot you? I told him, Rodney, if I knew who shot me, you would know. He said, well, we got to find out. I said, that's your job. You're a police officer. You're supposed to find out who shot me. You know, and we made an agreement on the down low for me to pay him $20,000 to put the motherfucker to sleep who shot me. So our deal was I'm already giving him $1,000 a week. If he lay this motherfucker down, he get 21 that week. So I seen him that Friday at the fish market, right across from Kentucky Fried Chicken, right there on Van Dyke and 7 Mile. That's where we used to meet at, and I paid him at the fish market. So now we meet, we pay. He said, you know who shot you? I've been looking. I said, no, I ain't found out yet. This is the day after I got out the hospital. Now, I'm not finna do no work today. I'm finna go find out who in the fuck shot me like he say he is, because he's a police officer. So we both looking to find out who in the fuck shot me. Now I got Rodney Rice, Lamont Upshaw, Chris Cole, Mark Heat, Cartavelli, and Cook. I got 6 motherfucking officers from the 5th precinct looking for this son of a bitch, along with me, number 7, Eddie Jackson Jr. So now, I'm not selling no dope now. I'm finna find out who shot me. So I hit the streets, and the first person I went to see was the person who told me about the shit in the first place, which was Carl Larry. Where did you get this shit from, Carl Larry? I got to know who in the fuck you heard this from. They was thinking about kidnapping and robbing me. So I wound up greasing Carl Larry a few dollars, $500, and gave my 8 ball of crack. And he told me Slew-Footed D and his crew is who was the fuck talking about robbing and kidnapping me. Now at this time, Slew-Footed D is staying with Dooney on Lee May, okay? So now, Slew-Footed D is staying with Dooney on Lee May. Now, I got to investigate, is this the motherfucker who did this to me? Because if it is, I'm finna shoot Rodney Rice and Lamont Upshaw and them on their ass immediately. But I don't want to put them on the wrong motherfucker and give them $21,000 for putting the wrong motherfucker to sleep. So I talked to Slew-Foot D. Let me start this from the beginning. When I came out that morning, this is serious motherfucking game. Now we playing life and death. I grabbed my motherfucking 9-shot single automatic shotgun. I loaded it. 1 double-off buck, as AC Ducey told me to do. 1 double-off buck, 1 slug, 1 double-off buck, 1 slug, and then I really got angry in medieval. I sawed that motherfucker off way lower than 18 inches. So I'm running with a 9 shot, 8 in the chamber, 8, put 1 in the chamber, you got 9 shot, semi-auto shotgun sawed off. And I'm finna go find who done did this to me. So I slide up on Big D there at Dooney's house on Lee Man. So Big D is coming out the house with his rat ass, because he's a stick-up man. So I slide up on his motherfucking ass and politely ask him, what the fuck was y'all down there? Now, they on French Road at damn near the corner house at this time, abandoned house, and I'm selling big dope on French Road. So I catch up to the nigga and let him know, you understand? Well, what's this I heard about you, the one who set me up? This nigga started shaking because I got my sawed off of my arm. And I know he got that old raggedy 9 on his side. So I'm just looking at this motherfucker out of eye, wishing he'd reach for that motherfucker. So I asked him, Slew-Footed D, what's this I heard y'all was down there talking about robbing and kidnapping me? First he gonna try to lie like it wasn't him. And about that time is when I slid that motherfucker out of my arm and said, this what you gonna tell me, man, that you ain't say none of this shit? And I know for a fact you did? So after that, he went to shaking. I mean, this motherfucker was shaking like this because I'm about ready to gut his motherfucking ass up close with this sawed off, and he see it. He's shaking now. He said, well, Eddie, I'm going to be honest with you. These niggas on Wade and over here and over there. And I said, no, that ain't gonna work. These niggas on Wade and over here and over there. And I said, no, that ain't gonna work, bro. Let's get in the car and let's go around here to this house on Wade where you talk about these niggas and these motherfuckers is that did this to me. So we got in the car. Dooney drove. I sat in the back seat. He sat in the front seat, and we rode right to the house where he said all this occurred, that these niggas was talking this shit. I said, okay, D, if I find out you had anything to do with this, you will see me. You will see me, and I promise you that. And you ain't gonna realize who the fuck I'm sending them to see you, because when Rodney Rice and them see you, I know his work because I done watched him in action. And when he gets your ass, you going to sleep for real and probably out there in a goddamn hole, which they finished just digging from tearing down one of them raggedy ass houses on the east side. That's where he bury your punk ass at. So I went head on and I went staked the house out now where he took me, waiting to see the nigga if the nigga who shot me comes out. So I'm sitting around there staking the house out. I'm watching, I'm waiting. This little motherfucker come out that looks similar to who shot me. We pull around and pull right up on him. He cussing and this and that and this and that. So I pull up on him. I got the sawed off on him in the car. We pull up on him, hey, blood, and open the goddamn door, get out and walk up on him, hey. And I look at this motherfucker face to face, and this is not who shot me. This is not who shot me. I said, blood, you lucky. You ain't who I'm really looking for right now. He's shaking and trembling because I was finna close the door on his ass. So he's shaking and trembling. He's not the person who shot me. So at this point, I done gave Slew-Footed D a few dollars. I done went here and looking now. I got Rodney Rice and all them looking, the whole 5th precinct trying to figure out who shot me. So at this point, I say, I got to go up to New York to cop. I go to church that Sunday because I'm leaving Sunday night after church. So I say I'm going to go over to my favorite church where I belong, which was God's Word, Reverend Roosevelt Miller. That's the church I belong to. And the reason I belong to that church is because after my father died, I pulled up to my mother's house. And he was in there talking with my mother. I never went in the house. I was sitting out in the car smoking weed, and at this time I smoked blunts. And these motherfuckers was the size of cigars. So I'm out here smoking a blunt all fucked up because the fat man done left me. And he walks out my mother's front door, and he walk over, and he get in the cab. I'm sitting there blazing and he's a pastor, and I know he's a pastor. Now, at this point in my life, I had never picked up a Bible and read one word of it. At this point in my life, I didn't go to church, none of that. And here come Reverend Roosevelt Miller out. He gonna talk to me and get me in the church to try to save this lost sheep, which was a wonderful job in which he was trying to do. And the first test I had for Reverend Roosevelt Miller was, if you coming to save this lost sheep in a den of iniquity, this motherfucker den in here is full of weed. And I know you gonna catch a contact coming to save this lost sheep if you really serious about what you saying. So I'm gonna see if you gonna withstand all this motherfucking chronic. I'm finna lay on your ass while you talking Jesus Christ to me. And he sat there, he talked, I smoked, he talked, I smoked. I really don't remember shit he said, if you want me to tell you the truth, because I was smoking and trying to smoke his ass out the car. But he ran his game and he stayed true to the game. And, he stood there, and I thought about it later. I said, you know what? I admire that he really came in a den of iniquity with a nigga smoking weed and drinking champagne and doing what he doing and tried to say, because that's his job, really. If you really a man of God, that's your job, is to save the lost sheep. And I was lost. So now, just so happened that Sunday before I'm going to New York, the cop said I'm going to stop by Reverend Miller's and, go to church. Just something hit me and told me, stop the church before you hit the road. So I went and Reverend Miller sang this song, and it hit me. This motherfucker hit me, and ever since then, it's been my motherfucking song. You understand? And he sang it like no other. He's the singingest preacher I ever met. He can sing better than he can preach. So I started going to church to hear him sing, because Reverend Miller was blowing. Recently, my Uncle Doc died, and Reverend Miller sung the most beautiful song I've ever heard a motherfucker sing at a funeral. He laid it down for Uncle Doc. I mean, he laid it down. But anyway, let's move on to the story. I went to church, and I'm going to New York, so I went and had a good service, and I went head on and hit the road. I'm on my way to New York. I get to New York. I get the package. I'm on the way back. I'm safe. I make it home safe. I'm up that morning now. I've been looking for this motherfucker who shot me. I got Rodney Rice. I got the whole 5th Crooked Precinct looking for this motherfucker too. It ain't nobody turned up nothing. All right? So about this time, at this time, 3875 French Road, my joint, had hit the front newspaper. It was the hottest joint in the city of Detroit. It couldn't be stopped because it was more than just 3875 French Road. It was the whole block. But anyway, now this shit done hit the front page. I'm hot as fire. Every police come down the street and stop and looking at the house. I'm looking at him from Amy's or somewhere. All these motherfuckers is focused on 3875. All right? So I got this type of heat on me, and I'm looking for who done shot me. All right? I'm on my way to New York to cop. I go to church before I go to New York. I'm back home from New York safely with the package. I'm on Lee May, because I used to park on Lee May because it was too hot for me to park on French Road. So I would come in with the package, whatever I'm bringing that day, 3,000 ounces worth of stone, 3,000 ounces worth of blows. I come in with them, and I would hide it out in the alley because I come in from Lee May. I park on Lee May, and I cut through the lots to French Road. But I hide my dope along the way, and I had this big lady who had a dog on Mount Clair, stayed next to Bubba. Bubba stayed here, and she stayed right here. And me and her got cool where I could leave my dope at her house and at times in her backyard. Like this particular morning, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I had just got back from New York with the package. I'm anxious to put the spot back down, get money. I ain't got no money since I got shot. A funny thing happened. I'm hiding my dope. I'm kneeled down. The weeds is grown up. You can't see me. I'm kneeled down hiding my package. You can't see no house window or nothing because I'm looking for that. No one can see me. I'm kneeled down. I got that sawed-off shotgun with me, and I said, God, please, please, show me who shot me. Because can't nobody find out I done been here, I done did that, I done been giving niggas money all around. I'm just, everybody giving me a hint. I'm trying to find was Black Rob who shot me. I go to Black Rob's brother, he lived on Harding. No, actually, he lived on St. Clair and Canfield, about 4 houses from Canfield. Black Rob's brother was cool because one day I was running from the police and Black Rob's brother let me in the house and got me away from the police. Now, Black Rob supposedly is who killed Faye Love, kidnapped him, and killed him. So because he did that to Faye Love, I'm looking to see if this motherfucker had me in mind to do the same motherfucking thing because he put Faye Love in an abandoned hole like I told you Rodney Rice do niggas. So now I'm trying to figure it's Black Rob, but his brother done did me a hell of a favor. He done saved me from the police. When the raid band raided French Road, I take off running, cut up part, cut on St. Clair, and this motherfucker bring me in the house to safety. So I'm wondering, is he, his brother? So I go around there and say, hey, man, you know anything about niggas who robbed and shot me? Because, he said, Eddie, I promise you. I know you know what my brother do, but I guarantee you it wasn't him. Showed me a picture of his brother and everything. He said, here's a picture of me and my brother. Is this the man who shot you? I said, no, but he could have sent a nigga at me. He said, I'm telling you that's not true. And I took his word on that now. So I'm kneeling down here praying, asking God to reveal to me who done shot me. And I said, God, I promise you, if you let me know who shot me, I won't hurt him. I promise you that I will not hurt him. I just need to know who did this to me. Now, I'm hiding dope now. I used to park on Lee May, right next to the alley. The alley right here, I used to park in front of the house. At this time when I used to park there, it used to be an old lady who lived at the house by herself. And she used to be outside cutting the grass, sweeping and shit. I'd park, get out, cut through the alley, hey, how you doing, miss? So now I'm kneeling down here, I'm parked there, and I done prayed to Allah, please reveal to me who done shot me. And I'm hiding my dope, I'm kneeling down. I got my sawed-off shotgun, and I'm hiding my dope. I'm finna put my dope down and walk over the French Road and put the sack down. And right about this time, I'm kneeling down, hiding, I'm quiet. A motherfucker come walking from Canfield straight up French Road in Lee May Alley. French Road is here, Lee May is here, and the alley is right here. And this motherfucker come walking up the alley. Now I'm kneeling down, hiding my dope. So he don't see me, I'm just seeing him, and I don't want him to see me because I'm hiding my sack. This motherfucker is walking up the alley. Walking up the alley, walking up the alley. And I get a look at this motherfucker, and this looked like the motherfucker who shot me, walking up the motherfucking alley right in my fucking face. He walks up the alley, he turns and goes to the house on Lee May where my car is parked directly in front of. This person turns out to be the old lady's grandson who been getting in trouble and fucking up on the west side, so his mama then tried to send him with his grandmama to straighten him up, and now he on the motherfucking east side robbing niggas. He done robbed and shot me. And I look, he's knocking on the back door, waiting on his grandmother to open the back door, and I'm looking right at this nigga. Subscribe, link up, share. I'm coming right back at you with the end because it's exciting. Like and share. Peace and love. This is Eddie Jackson, and this is Real True Street Crimes. All right, I'm going in part 6, 5. Anyway, the reshoot of Who Shot Me and Do I Believe in God coming to the last 2 parts. And I wanted to give you a little background on Rodney Rice, the police officer who first came to see me after I got shot that night about 4 o'clock in the morning. Rodney Rice had been knowing me my whole life. He was friends with the McCalls, who lived on the curve right around the corner from me. He went to Southfield High. I didn't know any of this. He told me all of this as we got cool over time. But anyway, he told me, I had been watching you all your life. I was friends with the McCalls, you understand? I went to Southfield High, so I know you know. So anyway, I remember when me and Rodney Rice first started, the first day I ever met Rodney Rice, I had bought a brand new Trans Am. And I made the mistake of parking that motherfucker in front of the house of French Road, coming over there, dropping off the sack, parked the car in front of the house, and goddamn, got out, went in the house, dropped the sack, and Rodney Rice, boom, I come out, Rodney Rice waiting. That's the first day I ever met him. And he introduced, I'm Rodney Rice, who I had to show him my license, my ID, Eddie Jackson Jr., and that's how we met. Okay, now Rodney Rice, our relationship was like this. I had a joint on Field in town. Rodney Rice burnt that motherfucker down because I wouldn't pay him. You understand? That house was doing I have did as much as $100,000 in one day. Shaky them was running it. The house was right in the alley, a field in town. It was a very small house. And you just pulled through the alley. They could hit you damn near out the house, pulling through the alley and just keep going. This was one of my best spots ever. And Rice raided that motherfucker, took the money, took the dope, and burnt that motherfucker down and told them to tell me, nigga, until you start paying me, I'm gonna burn all your joints down. The next motherfucker, he caught on Maxwell in Van Dyke area. I had Low running. He found out that motherfucker was mine and it was kicking ass on Maxwell and Van Dyke. This motherfucker was kicking ass. And I had Low running it and he burnt that motherfucker down and told Low, tell Eddie I burnt this motherfucker down until you start paying me. I'm gonna burn all them motherfuckers down. I know this is. So he burnt 2 of my biggest motherfucking joints down. Then I told him he fucked around and caught me coming up off the freeway with that key. And that's when I decided to, fuck it, I pay. We set up everything from there. Rodney Rice, what motherfuckers didn't believe, but he'd catch a nigga with a sack. He'd catch you with a key and take it. Tell you what you want. Me to take you to jail, or you want to give me this key and go on about your business. He did this to this particular guy. This guy almost got killed because the guy who fronted him the key didn't believe it. He didn't believe Rice had took the key and didn't take him to jail, which he give a nigga that choice. Nigga, I take this key, you go on about your motherfucking business, or I take you to jail with this key. What would you choose? So, my man gave Rice the key. The guy who fronted it did not believe it. And it was true because, see, Rice would shoot a move like that, and then he'd come to me and sell me the key. Hey, I got a good ass key. Move this motherfucker for me. Once we got cool, definitely come on with it. I'm going to move it. So I used to get dope and everything from Rodney Rice because that's how the relationship became. You understand? So that's how it was, you know, and Rice was getting down like that, like I say to you. So a lot of things he would say, well, these motherfuckers over here, I don't like them. I ain't got nothing to do with that, Rice. Me and your relationship ain't got nothing to do with me about telling you about anybody else. It's strictly about me and you and the things we do. If you need a motherfucker, you got a key you done took from a motherfucker and you want me to move it and buy it, I'll do that. That's cool with me because I ain't got nothing to do with who you took it from and whatever you did. So we had that type of relationship. You know, after he burnt my joints down and did all that shit, we got cool. So now I done got shot. Rodney Rice, like I told you before, man, who did this shit? He wanted no worse than me. That was my man at this time, you know. We had a good relationship, a good working relationship. Money was rolling. So Rodney Rice was going to be damned if one of these motherfuckers fucked that up. And I felt the same motherfucking way, so Rodney was my man. And he got so good. Rodney he got transferred out of the 5th precinct. He would come from the west side to the east side while on duty over there. And who gonna tell me what to do? The police, he thought could nobody tell him what to do. He would come all out of precinct. They had him and Upshaw was partners at first. They switched him up. So Rodney had another partner and all this shit. So Cook and Upshaw was working the 5th where I was at the time. And Upshaw, he was already down with the move. Upshaw was cool as hell too, because Upshaw was like, look, nigga, when he had sacks and shit, he'd hit a sack, he'd catch a nigga and take a sack, he'd come by French Road and be like, nigga, here, take a look at that, tell me what that worth, man, give me what it is. So Upshaw would always be coming, throwing a nigga a sack, saying, nigga, look at that, if it's worth, you know. So Upshaw was good at that shit too. He was a taking sack motherfucker too. He'd take a motherfucker sack in a minute and not take him to jail. But if you want to go to jail, you have to pay bond money, lawyer fees, time, or he'll oblige you. All you got to do is open your mouth and say anything, and you finna go for a ride to the motherfucking jailhouse. Trust me. Now, if you shut the fuck up, you go about your business and go home and shut the fuck up and mind your business. But if not, them motherfuckers gonna clean you out. And like I tell you, they had Chris Cole, they had Mark Heath, they had Cartavelli. All of them was working. When any of them would be out the 5th, some of them was gonna be in the 5th. heat and cold is going to be there, or Cartervelli. Some of them is going to always make sure they're in the fifth, you know, and you're going to always see them motherfuckers. So it was a good little thing that was going. And like I said, if they had found the motherfucker that shot me and killed him, I wouldn't have had nothing to do with that. I would have paid them. But I was not, after God told me what my fate was, if I had anything to do with it. My fate was the same as his death. I wasn't going to tell Rice and them, here's where he at, here go the money, go kill it. Because I feared God. I truly feared if I had done that, what God would have done to me. I didn't want my mother to be crying, because that's the worst thing in the world. I did not want my mother to come to my funeral crying because somebody didn't kill me. You understand? And that's one thing that I always prayed. One, I would never have to kill anybody, and two, my mother would have to never come to the funeral and see me have been killed. You know, and God, Allah bless me with all of that. And I'll say this. It seems like the best mothers get the worst kids. It seems like that. And the best kids get the worst mothers. They had a worse mother, won't comb their head, won't cook breakfast, won't do nothing. And they'll be the best kids. Go to school, study, want to learn, but the mom ain't shit. And that's just sad in that, and that's something I've always seen. And when I see that, I try to help a brother out. When I see a situation like that, a young guy, his mom smoking, getting high. It's like a guy, we was at Darnell's party store. I'm going to wind this up, this last thing I'm going to say. Thank you to all my subscribers, let me say that. But it was a little kid there, and we used to play the games, and Darnell Knox, he was a boxer for Crocs. Darnell Knox had a party store on Grove in Hamilton in Highland Park. And we used to buy chicken wings, and we used to have peanut brittle and candy, and we used to play the games all day. So the little kid, they used to be in there, and I would pay for, chicken wings, because they wouldn't have money like that. And I would fill the game up with quarters and buy chicken wings and peanut brittle. And so happened, this lady came in one day, and boom, asked could she see me, and I stepped outside, and he happened to walk outside, and she said, that's my mother. And she was buying crack and heroin from me. Now, this little kid he had holes in his shoes. The next day, I went and bought that little kid shoes. And there's many kids who parents was getting high. I did this for. Many kids. And that's a fact. I went and bought this little kid brand new gym shoes because I knew his mother was getting high. She was spending money with me. It wasn't my fault she was getting high. It wasn't my fault she was spending money with me. But I felt for the kid. So I went, took out of my pocket, bought him gym shoes, a tracksuit, so he looked presentable and wouldn't be walking around here with holes in his shoes, because my heart wouldn't let me do that. I had to give something back. If I was doing good and I saw that, I made sure I gave something back. And any kid out there can say that. No, many of kids, I made sure they ate every day after school. We played games just like kids. I did all of that, and I loved the kids and always showed them love. Always, throughout anything. So like, subscribe, share, and the last part is coming tomorrow. Peace and love. The question was, was Demetrius hurt when Maserati Rick got killed? In 1985, I was with Demetrius from 1985 up until his death. It was two people that meant more than anything to him. Maserati Rick was one of them. Rick was one of the most closest people to Demetrius all the way up until Demetrius made the mistake of fucking his woman. Demetrius regretted that up until the time he died, and definitely when Maserati got killed, Demetrius is the one that paid for the Benz coffin and all of that. And at that time, they had somewhat fell out because Demetrius had fucked his woman. And the other person in the beginning, 85, when we first kicked off, when Demetrius was kicking off, was another brother by the name of Johnny Jurgens. He meant the world to Demetrius. Johnny Jurgens was one of the ones who kicked us off, you understand, far as before he got his thing going from the penitentiary, you understand? So Johnny Jurgens was a person that was very loved by Demetrius Holloway, as well as Maserati Rick was very much loved by Demetrius, and that's the truth. Now let me go into the story of today, which is the end of Who Shot Me. And I want to say this. I had Rodney Rice, Lamont Upshaw, Chris Cole, Mark Heath, Carter Velli, and Sam Cooke. Now, all of them wanted $21,000 to kill this boy who had shot and nearly killed me if it wasn't for the grace of God. And as I told you, when God revealed to me after I prayed to him long and hard, and it didn't take him long to reveal it to me, but I promised him I wouldn't hurt that man. And when I thought about hurting that man and killing that man, God revealed to me just as suddenly, like I told you, I saw Pastor Roosevelt Miller. He's over at God's Word. He didn't transfer now from, he was off Oakland, but he didn't moved over to Brightmoor now. So Pastor Miller is in Brightmoor, you understand? And as I said to you before, he won me as a fan. So I went to church before I went to New York to see the Seven Dwarfs that Sunday. And Reverend Miller, as I said to you, had put down, I can feel the presence of the Lord so tough, I could feel the presence of the Lord. And I mean that truly. And I could feel when the Lord told me, if I kill this man after he revealed it to me, that I would be next. And I could feel, I knew if I killed him, that would happen. I knew there was no way I could duck that. So at that point, I started to stay away from him to keep from doing that. So I'm going to be honest with you. After I found out who shot me, 2 months went by, okay? Now, he goes out to do another dastardly deed. Him and his little boy, the same two, him and the little light-skinned boy who robbed me, okay? They go out to do another dastardly deed. Now they go on to the boulevard and right down the street from Belle Isle, okay? I would say less than a mile from Belle Isle was a weed house, okay? And he was banging. But across the street was an old lady, his neighbor, and he used to cut her grass, shovel her snow, sweep up around there, and always look out for her. If he went to the store, you need anything from the store, mama? So he was that type of a guy, and he was selling weed across the street from her. So happened, here he comes. He pulls up, parked in front of the weed house. He's finna rob this man now. He's dressed like a police. He gets out. He goes to the trunk, close the trunk, put on his little jumpsuit, trying to look like the police. Walk straight down the street, cut around the corner and cut up the alley, and he's coming to come up to my man from the backside, slide around the back of the house and come up on the side of the house and rush through the front door. Now the lady across the street is watching this motherfucker from the time he parked there, sat there, got dressed, walked down the street, cut over, and she called over to tell her neighbor, man, this guy don't look right, something. And about that time, she's on the phone with him. She see him coming up on the side of the house. He's got a .357 Magnum in his hand. She's on the phone talking to the guy he's trying to rob. She tell my man, he grabbed his 40 Glock. He walked straight out the front door, walk around to the side of the house, and hit this motherfucker 9 times direct with that 40 Glock. He didn't know it was coming. He's walking around there, easing around. My man just walking around there, whop. He wasn't holding him up. So now he didn't kill this sucker. Now see, that's what happens sometimes when you go out to do a dastardly deed. it don't always turn out the way you thought it was. Now, he didn't kill this motherfucker, puts him in the garbage bag, and takes him up a half a mile from Belle Isle where they had tore down the house and throw his ass in the ditch there. Now, the motherfucker that's with him calls the police and tell the police what's done happened. So when the guy come back home, the police's house surrounded everything. Now, the neighbor across the street, all of this is in the newspaper and was on the news, all of this. The lady across the street comes to the police and tell them what happened and that she was on the phone talking to him, telling him that this guy looked at suspicion and was coming around trying to rob him. When they look up the guy's record, he done been on the west side robbing motherfuckers. He got about 10 robberies on his motherfucking jacket. So now my man done killed him. He ain't do a day. He went down to the police station, answered a few questions. They took his car away. His little accomplice went to the station and got through telling how they came over there to rob that man, and that motherfucking man wasn't for that day and exterminated that motherfucker. Now, on the flip side of this, as I told you, I used to park in front of his grandmother's house on Lee Main. I started back parking there after he got killed, and so happened I parked there this particular day of his funeral and she was coming home from it. This lady cried. I mean, you could see the pain like no other. Here's a man that nearly killed me, and to see the pain of his grandmother because she was such a nice lady tore me up. It ate me up. Then to find out she done went in debt to try to bury the motherfucker. I mean, and this lady bawling, crying, then getting in more than did everything she could to bury this rotten motherfucker. And as I said before, the best parents get the worst children, and the best children get the worst parents in my experience. And it tore me up so bad to see this lady crying like that. And I had always spoke to her and hey, just in passing, and just had a nice look. I had to get William Harmon to get a card and put $1,000 in there and have him take it around there and put it in a mailbox just to say, I'm sorry, for your grief. Because she was that torn up, and it tore me apart to see her that torn up like that. And that's how that ended, and that's how that went. And the only last thing I want to say, which I was speaking on religion when I said about Jesus Christ is in the Quran and Muhammad is in the Quran. Jesus Christ is in the Bible and Muhammad is in the Bible. Now, the argument that Muhammad told me that Christians and Muslims have, Christians say Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Muslims say he is just a prophet like Muhammad and Moses. Now, they doing all this killing for all these years. Is it really worth that and neither one can prove that? I just want to say peace, love, subscribe. I'm coming at you every day with a story. Peace, love, and subscribe. Thank you. Peace out.
Big Boss Filmworks and Big Boss Books presents Courtney Robert Brown Jr.'s follow-up to the book Motown Mafia. Motown Mafia, Big Man on Campus.
My internship was kind of in how the world of international finance and international criminal activities overlap.
Corey Black Sr. wanted Corey to go to school to bring legitimacy to the family, but Corey had other plans. While in college, with the help of his friends and his girlfriend, he starts and grows a successful drug operation.
5 minutes later, two agents, now I know they were agents, but at the time I see two guys go to the right, another two guys start walking towards me. They stop at my seat and they go, grab your bags, DEA, come with us. Needless to say, this is not the fun part of being an intern.
Corey finds himself conflicted with his responsibility to running the family business and his obligation to his college studies. However, he'll have to make things work in his favor if he wants to remain the big man on campus. The names have been changed to protect the guilty and the innocent.
I'm taking economics and business 101 and marketing, and you know, your economic teacher's telling you about a business plan and how you get a small business loan. And you know, it's kind of the hypocrisy of the world, because I'm like, that ain't how the real world works.